The blizzard swallows Highway 287 whole, turning the world into a screaming void of white. Cole's wipers battle snow that falls sideways, thick as static on a dead channel. His 7-year-old sleeps in the back seat, clutching his stuffed rabbit. Then the sky tears open. A streak of orange fire arcs across the darkness, trailing black smoke before vanishing behind the hills. The explosion echoes like distant thunder. Cole slams the brakes, his truck fishtailing on ice. 10 minutes of driving through knee-deep drifts, and he finds her a woman in a torn flight suit, sprawled beneath a silver parachute, blood blooming across virgin snow like dark roses. Her dog tags catch his headlight beams. Behind him, Jessie's small voice trembles. "Daddy, is she breathing?" She is, barely. When her eyes snap open, locking onto his through the swirling snow, she chokes out 2 words. "Don't tell." The number on her wrist burns into his vision. 41007. The same digits carved into the compass his wife clutched when they pulled her from a burning cockpit 3 years ago. This stranger bleeding in a Wyoming wasteland knows something about the crash that took everything. And the moment Cole lifts her into his truck, he doesn't just save a life. He opens a door to the truth that will shatter everything he thought he knew. Cole's hands shake as he pulls the woman into the cab. Her flight suit is soaked through, torn at the shoulder where blood seeps dark and steady. Jesse wakes fully now, his eyes wide as moons. "Is she dead?" the boy whispers. Cole doesn't answer. He can't, because the number on her wrist keeps burning into his brain, and his wife's compass sits in the glove box 2 feet away, and none of this makes any sense. He strips off his jacket, wraps it around the woman's shoulders. Her breathing is shallow, fast. Her lips are turning blue. The drive home takes 20 minutes that feel like 20 hours. The woman drifts in and out of consciousness, mumbling words Cole can't make out. Jesse sits silent in the back, watching. The boy hasn't been this quiet since the funeral, since the day they told him his mother wasn't coming home. Cole grips the wheel harder, trying not to think about that day, trying not to wonder why this stranger has Lila's number tattooed on her skin like a brand. When they pull into the driveway, the house looks exactly as they left it. Dark, cold, empty. Cole carries the woman inside while Jesse holds the door. He lays her on the couch, the same couch where Lila used to read flight manuals late into the night. The woman's eyes flutter open again, focusing on him with an intensity that makes his breath catch. "Water," she croaks. Cole brings her a glass. She drinks half, coughs, drinks more. Then she looks at Jesse standing in the doorway, small and scared, and something in her expression cracks. "I'm sorry," she whispers, and Cole doesn't know if she's talking to him, or to the boy, or to someone else entirely. He fetches the first aid kit from the bathroom. The cut on her forehead needs stitches, but he's done field dressing before worked construction for years before Lila died, before everything fell apart. He cleans the wound with steady hands while she bites down on a folded towel. Jesse brings warm blankets without being asked. The boy is good at that, reading what's needed without words. 3 years of just the 2 of them will do that. When Cole finishes bandaging her head, he sits back and asks the question that's been clawing at his throat since he found her. "Who are you?" The woman closes her eyes. For a long moment he thinks she won't answer. Then she opens them again, and there's something in her gaze that looks like guilt. "Reese," she says. "Just one word, just a name." Cole waits, but she doesn't offer more. He pulls up a chair, leans forward. "The number on your wrist." 41007. "Where did you get it?" Reese's face goes pale, paler than it already was. She looks at her wrist like she forgot it was there, like she wishes it would disappear. It's my training unit, she says quietly. Oh, Edwards Air Force Base. Cole's heart stops. Edwards. That's where Lila worked. That's where Lila died. He stands up so fast the chair scrapes loud against the floor. Jessie flinches. Reese doesn't. She just watches Cole with those haunted eyes. And he knows. He knows she's lying. Or not lying exactly, just not telling the whole truth. My wife had that number, Cole says, his voice rough as gravel. Carved into a compass. She was holding it when they pulled her body from the wreckage. Reese's breath hitches. Her hands curl into fists on her lap. What was her name? She asks, though something in her tone suggests she already knows the answer. Cole's throat tightens. Lila Hartwell. She was a test engineer. The name hangs in the air between them like smoke. Reese closes her eyes again, and a single tear tracks down her cheek. I knew her, Reese whispers. We worked together. She was the best engineer on the team. Cole feels like the floor just dropped out from under him. He sits down hard, his legs suddenly unable to hold his weight. You were there, he says. It's not a question. Reese nods slowly. I was there the day she died. I saw the plane go down. I saw. She stops, swallows hard. I saw everything. The room goes very quiet. Even Jessie has stopped moving, frozen in the doorway like a statue. Cole's mind races. All this time he thought he knew what happened. Mechanical failure, they said. Faulty wiring in the test aircraft. An accident. Just an accident. But the way Reese is looking at him now, the way her hands tremble, tells him there's more to the story. What aren't you telling me? He asks. Reese shakes her head. I can't. I signed papers. Non-disclosure. If I talk, I lose everything. Cole leans forward until their faces are inches apart. I already lost everything, he says quietly. So did my son. So tell me the truth. Reese looks at Jessie then, really looks at him. The boy is 7 years old, skinny as a rail, with his mother's dark hair and his father's grey eyes. He's holding that stuffed rabbit like it's the only solid thing in the world. Reese's expression crumbles. Lila filed a report 6 months before she died, she says, her voice barely above a whisper, about a software glitch in the warning system. She said it would confuse electrical failures with mechanical ones in extreme cold. No one believed her. They said she needed empirical proof. Cole's blood runs cold. So she volunteered to fly the test. Reese nods. She wanted to prove she was right. She wanted to save lives. Her voice breaks. But I saw the report. I read it. I knew she was right. And I didn't back her up. I was too scared of losing my job, of being blacklisted. I let her go up alone. The weight of those words settles over the room like snow. Cole can't breathe, can't think. His wife died trying to prove something that could have been prevented if one person had just spoken up. And now? Cole asks, his voice shaking. What happened to you tonight? Reese's laugh is bitter, broken. Same glitch, same warning system. I was flying a Block 40 at 15,000 feet when the alarms started screaming. I remembered Lila's report. I remembered what she wrote about false electrical warnings. So I shut off the alarm and checked the actual indicators. She touches the bandage on her head. I was right. It was mechanical, not electrical. If I'd followed the false warning, I'd be dead. Just like Lila. Cole stands up, walks to the window. Outside, the blizzard is still raging, burying the world in white. He can see his own reflection in the glass, can see the ghost of the man he used to be before grief hollowed him out. Behind him, Jessie speaks for the first time. "Did my mum save you?" The question is so simple, so pure, it breaks something in Cole's chest. He turns to see Reese looking at the boy with tears streaming down her face. "Yes," she whispers. "Your mum saved me, even though I didn't deserve it." The next morning comes slow and grey. The storm has passed, leaving the world buried under 2 feet of fresh snow. Cole wakes on the recliner where he dozed off sometime after midnight. Reese is still on the couch, still breathing. Jessie is curled up in the armchair, the rabbit tucked under his chin. For a moment, Cole just watches them both, these two broken people fate dropped into his living room. Then Reese's eyes open. She sits up carefully, wincing at the pain in her ribs. "I should go," she says. Cole pours coffee into 2 mugs, hands her one. "Go where?" Reese stares into the dark liquid like it might have answers. "I don't know. Anywhere. I'll call my unit, face the investigation." Cole sits down across from her. "They're going to blame you." "You shut off the warning system. That's against protocol." Reese nods. "I know, but at least I'm alive to face it." She looks up at him, and there's steel in her gaze now. Lila wasn't that lucky. Jessie wanders into the kitchen, rubbing sleep from his eyes. Reese watches him pour cereal, watches him eat in silence. "He looks like her," she says quietly. Cole nods. "Acts like her too. Stubborn, smart, doesn't talk much when he's thinking hard." Jessie glances up at that, almost smiles. It's the closest thing to a smile Cole has seen from his son in weeks. Reese stands, tests her weight on shaky legs. "Thank you for not calling the police. For not turning me in. You're not a criminal." Cole says, "You're a pilot who survived something my wife didn't." The words hang heavy. Reese pulls on her boots, still caked with frozen mud and blood. Cole stops her with a hand on her arm. "Wait. You can't just walk out into this. You're hurt, and it's 10 miles to town." Reese looks at the door, at the wall of white beyond it. "I can't stay here. I can't impose on you like this." Cole's grip tightened slightly. "You knew Lila. You finished what she started. The least I can do is make sure you don't freeze to death." Reese stays. 1 day becomes 2, then 3. She sleeps on the couch, helps Jessie with homework, fixes the leaking pipe under the kitchen sink without being asked. Cole watches her move through his house like a ghost, quiet and careful, always ready to disappear. On the 4th morning, she makes pancakes. Jessie eats 3. Cole catches himself almost laughing at the syrup on the boy's nose, then remembers he's not supposed to feel anything close to happiness anymore. That afternoon, a black sedan pulls into the driveway. Cole sees it through the window, and his stomach drops. Reese sees it too. Her face goes white. "They found me," she whispers. A man in a dark suit steps out, carrying a briefcase. He knocks twice, official and sharp. Cole opens the door. "Can I help you?" The man flashes a badge. "Agent Brooks, Air Force Office of Special Investigations. I'm looking for Captain Teresa Keller." His eyes flick past Cole to where Reese stands frozen in the living room. "Captain Keller," Brooks says, his voice flat and professional. "You're required to appear before a disciplinary board on the 15th of July. The crash is under investigation." Reese steps forward, her spine straight despite the fear in her eyes. "I understand." Brooks hands her a manila envelope. "Preliminary findings show you disabled the warning system at 15,000 feet. That's a direct violation of flight protocol. The board will determine if criminal charges are warranted." Cole's hands curl into fists. "To She saved her own life. The warning system was faulty. Brooks looks at Cole like he's an insect. And you are? Cole meets his gaze without flinching. Someone who knows what it's like when the Air Force buries the truth. Brooks's expression doesn't change. Captain Keller is required to remain in-state pending the investigation. No contact with media. No unauthorized discussions of the incident. He turns back to Reese. Do you understand these terms? Reese nods. Yes, sir. Brooks leaves without another word. The sedan disappears down the snow-packed road. Reese sits down hard on the couch, the envelope trembling in her hands. They're going to crucify me, she says, just like they would have crucified Lila if she'd survived. Cole sits beside her. Not if we can prove the system was faulty. Not if we have evidence. Reese laughs, but there's no humor in it. With what? Lila's report? They buried that 3 years ago. It's probably in a shredder by now. Cole stands, walks to his bedroom. When he comes back, he's carrying a lockbox. He sets it on the coffee table, keys in the combination. Inside are Lila's things, her wedding ring, her pilot's wings, her leather flight jacket, and underneath it all, a thick folder of papers. Cole pulls it out, hands it to Reese. She kept copies of everything, every report, every test result, every email where someone told her she was wrong. Reese opens the folder with shaking hands. Page after page of technical data, meticulously documented. Graphs showing temperature variance, logs of false warnings, and at the bottom, Lila's final report, dated 2 weeks before she died. This is it. Reese breathes. This is everything we need to prove the system is flawed. She looks up at Cole, and for the first time since he found her bleeding in the snow, there's hope in her eyes. But we need more. We need the black box data from my crash. We need to show the pattern matches exactly what Lila predicted. Cole pulls out his phone. I know someone. Former colleague from Boeing. He owes me a favor. He makes the call. 20 minutes later, he has a name and a number for an independent aviation analyst. The next 2 months blur together. Cole works nights analyzing data while Jesse sleeps. Reese makes calls to old contacts, digging up technical specs the Air Force doesn't want public. They work side by side at the kitchen table, building a case one piece of evidence at a time. Jesse watches them, quiet as always, doing his homework in the corner. Sometimes Cole catches the boy staring at Reese with something that looks like hope. It terrifies him. He can't let Jesse get attached, can't let any of them believe this is permanent. But Jesse is already attached. Cole sees it in the way the boy shows Reese his drawings after school, the way he asks her to check his spelling tests, the way he laughs, actually laughs when she tells him stories about flying through clouds. One night, Cole finds them on the back porch. Reese is pointing out constellations, and Jesse is asking questions about stars and navigation and whether his mother used to look at the same sky. Reese's voice is gentle when she answers. Your mum loved the stars. She said they reminded her that even when things seem dark, there's always light somewhere. Cole's throat tightens. He turns away before they can see him. Later, after Jesse is in bed, Reese finds Cole in the garage. He's working on an old motorcycle, something to keep his hands busy, his mind from spinning. You don't have to do this, Reese says quietly. Help me, I mean. You've already done more than anyone would. Cole doesn't look up from the engine. Lila would want me to. Reese steps closer. Is that the only reason? The question hangs in the oil-scented air. Cole sets down his wrench, finally meets her eyes. No, he admits. It's not. Reese nods slowly, like she already knew. I should leave before this gets complicated. Cole almost laughs. It's been complicated since the moment I found you. Reese moves closer still, close enough that he can see the scar forming on her forehead, the one that will always remind her she survived when Lila didn't. I'm terrified, she whispers, of the hearing, of losing my wings, of staying, of leaving, of all of it. Cole reaches out, cups her face in his grease-stained hand. Join the club. They don't kiss, not yet, but something shifts between them, some invisible line crossed. From that night on, they stop pretending this is temporary. Reese starts keeping her things in the guest room instead of her duffel bag. Jessie starts setting 3 places at the table without being asked. Cole starts sleeping more than 4 hours a night. The house, which has felt like a tomb for 3 years, starts to feel almost like a home again. But the hearing looms. July 15th. 3 weeks away. 2 weeks. 1. The night before, Cole can't sleep. He finds Reese on the back porch again, staring at the stars. You ready? He asks. She shakes her head. I keep thinking about Lila. How scared she must have been in those last seconds. How alone. Cole sits beside her. She wasn't alone. She had you, all of you who believed in her work, even if you were too afraid to say it out loud. Reese's jaw tightens. I was a coward. Cole takes her hand. You were human. And now you get the chance she didn't, to make it right. The hearing room at Warren Air Force Base is sterile and cold. 5 officers sit behind a long table. Reese stands at attention in her dress uniform, every button polished, every crease sharp. Cole sits in the gallery with Jessie, the boy's small hand gripped tight in his. The lead officer, a colonel named Merrick, opens the file in front of him. Captain Keller, you're here to answer charges of violating flight protocol by deliberately disabling aircraft warning systems. How do you plead? Reese's voice doesn't waver. Justified, sir. Merrick's eyebrows rise. Justified. Interesting. He leans forward. Explain. Reese takes a breath, and Cole can see the moment she decides to burn every bridge. 3 years ago, test engineer Lila Hartwell filed a report documenting a critical flaw in the Block 40 warning system. The flaw causes the system to misidentify mechanical failures as electrical ones in temperatures below -35 Celsius. Mrs. Hartwell's report was dismissed. She died trying to prove it. The room goes very still. 2 months ago, I experienced the exact scenario Mrs. Hartwell predicted. Reese continues. False electrical warnings at 15,000 feet in sub-zero temperatures. I shut down the warning system because I remembered her report. I checked the actual mechanical indicators instead. That decision saved my life. Merrick's expression is unreadable. Captain, you're asking this board to believe you violated protocol based on a 3-year-old report that was never validated. Reese stands taller. I'm asking this board to validate it now. One of the other officers, a major, speaks up. Even if such a report existed, we have no way to verify your claim. That's when Cole stands. I can verify it. Every head turns. Merrick frowns. Who are you? Cole steps forward. Cole Brennan, aerospace engineer, former Boeing contractor, and Lila Hartwell's widower. He places a thick folder on the table. This is my wife's complete research. Every test, every calculation, every warning she documented before she died. And this, he pulls out a second folder, is the black box data from Captain Keller's crash. Analyzed by an independent expert, the patterns match exactly. The room erupts in whispers. Merrick holds up a hand for silence. He opens the first folder, scans the pages. His face grows darker with each one. This should have been reviewed. He says quietly, Another officer leans over, reads. Sir, if this is accurate, we have a fleet-wide safety issue. Merrick looks at Reese. Captain, did you know about this report before your incident? Reese meets his gaze. Yes, sir. I read it when Mrs. Hartwell first filed it. I didn't support her then. I was too afraid. I won't make that mistake again. The board goes into recess. 30 minutes of waiting that feel like 30 years. Jessie sits pressed against Cole's side, silent and tense. Reese stands by the window, her reflection ghostly in the glass. When the board returns, Merrick's expression is grave. After reviewing the evidence, this board finds that Captain Keller acted appropriately given the circumstances. All charges are dismissed. Cole feels Jessie's grip relax. Reese's eyes close briefly, her shoulders dropping. But Merrick isn't finished. However, he continues, Captain Keller will be grounded for 6 months for psychological evaluation and retraining. Additionally, the Air Force will immediately review all Block 40 and Block 50 warning systems. Mrs. Hartwell's report will be reinstated to the official record. He looks at Cole. Mr. Brennan, your wife's work likely saved lives today. The Air Force owes her a debt. Cole's throat is too tight to speak. He just nods. Reese salutes, her hand trembling slightly. Thank you, sir. Outside the hearing room, Reese leans against the wall and slowly slides down until she's sitting on the floor. Cole sits beside her. Jessie stands in front of them both, looking between them with his serious grey eyes. Does this mean you don't have to leave? The boy asks Reese. She looks at Cole, a question in her gaze. Cole takes a breath. I got a job offer. In Seattle. Boeing wants me back as a senior consultant. Jessie's face falls. We're moving. Cole nods. We need a fresh start, buddy. New house, new school, new everything. Jessie looks at Reese. Is Miss Reese coming? The silence stretches. Reese stands, brushes off her uniform. Jessie, I have to stay here for 6 months, for retraining. Jessie's lower lip trembles. But after? Will you come after? Reese kneels down to his level. I don't know, sweetie. That's not up to me. Jessie looks at his father. Dad? Cole feels the weight of the question, feels the weight of the last 3 years and the last 2 months, and this moment where he has to decide whether to protect his heart or open it. It's up to Reese. Cole says carefully. Seattle is a long way from here. She has a career, her whole life in the Air Force. Jessie's eyes fill with tears. But we're a family now, aren't we? The words hit like a punch. Cole looks at Reese, sees her eyes shining, sees her hand pressed to her mouth. Jessie. Cole starts, but Reese shakes her head. She pulls the boy into a hug. You are the bravest kid I've ever met. She whispers, and yes, we're a family, if your dad will have me. Cole stands slowly. You'd give up flying. For us. Reese straightens, still holding Jessie's hand. I'd give up the Air Force. Not flying. Seattle has civilian flight schools. I could teach. She takes a breath. Your wife gave her life trying to make things safer. I could spend mine finishing that work, teaching the next generation so no one else has to die like Leela did. Cole's vision blurs. She'd like that. He manages. She'd like you. Reese steps closer. I'm scared, Cole. Scared I'll mess this up. Scared I don't deserve this. None of us deserve happiness, Cole says quietly. But all of us need it. He pulls her close, feels her arms wrap around him, feels Jessie squeeze between them. They stand there in the hallway of Warren Air Force Base, 3 broken people holding each other together, and for the first time in 3 years, Cole lets himself believe in tomorrow. Okay, Reese whispers against his shoulder. Okay, I'll come to Seattle. After my 6 months, I'll come home. Jessie makes a sound that's half laugh, half sob. Cole just holds them both tighter. 6 months later, on a grey January morning, Reese walks out of her final evaluation with her wings restored and a letter of recommendation in hand. She drives straight to the airport. The flight to Seattle takes 3 hours. When she lands, Cole and Jessie are waiting at baggage claim. Jessie sees her first, breaks into a run. Reese catches him, lifts him spinning. He's grown 2 inches, lost a tooth. Cole walks up more slowly, and when Reese looks at him, she sees something she's been afraid to hope for. Peace, forgiveness, future. Welcome home, Cole says, and kisses her right there in the terminal while travelers stream past, and Jessie makes exaggerated gagging noises that can't hide his grin. They drive to a house near Lake Washington. Small, blue, with a porch swing and a yard big enough for Jessie's projects. Reese's room is on the 2nd floor, next to Jessie's, across from Cole's. For now, Cole says, and the promise in those 2 words makes her breath catch. That night, they sit on the porch. Jessie is inside doing homework. The lake reflects the last of the sunset. I got a job, Reese says, teaching at Cascade Flight Academy. Civilian instruction. Cole takes her hand. You sure about this? Reese looks at the house, at the warm light spilling from the windows, at Jessie's silhouette bent over his books. I've never been more sure of anything. Cole leans back, pulls her close. They sit in comfortable silence as the stars come out. Inside, Jessie abandons his homework to build a model plane. Later, he'll show it to Reese, ask her about flaps and ailerons, and she'll explain everything with the patience Layla would have had. Months pass. The house fills with life. Jessie joins Little League. Cole designs a new generation of warning systems, better and safer. Reese teaches students to trust their instruments, but verify everything. On weekends, they hike, they cook together, they fight over whose turn it is to do dishes. Normal things, family things. One evening, Reese finds Cole in the garage holding Lila's compass. I've been thinking, he says, about passing this to Jessie. When he's older. Reese sits beside him. He should have it. It's his mother's legacy. It's more than that now, Cole says. It's proof that one person standing up for the truth can change everything. He turns the compass over in his hands. Lila saved your life without even knowing it, and you brought me back to mine. Reese's eyes sting. I just wish I'd been brave enough when she was alive. Cole sets the compass down, takes both her hands in his. You're brave enough now. That's what matters. He pauses, takes a breath. Move in with me. Officially, not as a guest, as my partner. Reese's heart hammers. Are you sure? It hasn't even been a year. Cole's smile is soft and sure. I've spent 3 years afraid to feel anything. I'm done being afraid. Reese kisses him, slow and sweet. Yes, she whispers. Yes to all of it. That night they tell Jessie over dinner. The boy's face splits into a grin so wide it hurts to see. Does this mean I can call you Mom? He asks Reese. She freezes, looks at Cole. You don't have to. Cole says carefully. You had a mom. A really good one. Jessie thinks about this. Can I have 2? One who watches from the stars and one who teaches me to fly. Reese's vision blurs. She reaches across the table, takes Jessie's hand. I would be honored, she says. Jessie nods, satisfied, and goes back to his spaghetti like he didn't just rebuild their entire world. Cole catches Reese's eye, mouths, I love you, across the table. She mouths it back. Later, after Jessie is asleep, they stand in the doorway of his room, watching him breathe. The compass sits on his nightstand now, keeping watch. Think Lila would approve. Rhys whispers. Cole wraps an arm around her waist. I think she'd be proud. He's quiet for a moment. You know what the best part is? Jessie's happy again. Really happy. I'd forgotten what that looked like. Rhys leans into him. Me too. I'd forgotten what any of this felt like. They stand there until their legs ache, just watching the boy sleep, marveling at how life can break you open and then somehow, impossibly, put you back together into something new. 5 years later, Jesse stands on a stage at his middle school science fair, holding the compass. This belonged to my mother, he says to the assembled parents and judges. She was an aerospace engineer who discovered a critical flaw in military aircraft warning systems. She died proving she was right. He pauses, looks out at the audience until he finds Rhys and Cole in the third row. But her work saved the woman who became my second mom. And together, they've made sure no other families have to lose someone the way we lost her. Jesse's project is a redesigned warning system using Lila's original research and Rhys's flight data. It's sophisticated enough to impress the judges and win first place. Afterward, Rhys hugs him tight. Your mum would be so proud, she whispers. Both of them, Jesse says and squeezes her back. Cole stands apart, watching them, his chest tight with emotion. Rhys is 6 months pregnant now, round and glowing. Jesse has asked for a sister. They don't know yet what they're having, but Cole finds he doesn't care as long as they're all healthy. That night, they sit on the porch swing, the three of them squeezed together. Jesse has the compass in his hands, turning it over and over. Do you think she knows? He asks. About all of us? Rhys and Cole exchange glances. I think she does, Cole says. I think she's been watching the whole time. Jesse nods, satisfied. He sets the compass on the railing, where it catches the last light of day. The needle points north, steady and true, just like it always has. Just like Lila always was. I'm going to be an engineer, Jesse announces. Like Mom. And then a pilot, like Rhys. And I'm going to make things so safe that nobody's mom ever has to die in a plane. His voice cracks on the last word. Rhys pulls him close. That's a good dream, kiddo. A really good dream. Cole looks at his son, sees Lila's determination in his eyes, sees the future stretching out bright and full of possibility. You'll do it too, he says. I believe in you. And he does. He believes in all of it now, in second chances and found families, and the way love doesn't replace what you lost, but grows around it like a tree around a stone. Above them, the first stars appear. Somewhere up there, Cole likes to think, Lila is smiling. Her work lives on in the warning systems being installed fleet-wide. Her memory lives on in the son who carries her name and her passion. Her love lives on in the family she never got to meet, but somehow brought together anyway. Cole pulls Rhys closer, rests his hand on her belly, feels their daughter kick. Jesse leans against them both, the compass warm in his hands. And for the first time since the night the Air Force showed up at his door to tell him his wife was gone, Cole Brennan feels complete. The night deepens. Jesse falls asleep between them, the compass clutched to his chest. Cole carefully lifts the boy, carries him inside, tucks him into bed. When he comes back, Rhys is still on the swing, looking up at the stars. What are you thinking? Cole asks. She turns to him, and her smile is soft and sad and hopeful all at once. That love doesn't end. It just changes shape, becomes something new. Cole sits beside her, takes her hand. Lila brought you to me, he says quietly. Even in death she was trying to save us all. Rhys nods, unable to speak, past the lump in her throat. They sit in silence, the swing creaking gently, the lake shimmering beyond the trees. Tomorrow, Rhys will teach 3 new students to trust their instruments. Cole will finalize designs for the next generation of safety systems. Jesse will wake up and ask for pancakes and show them both his plans for a model rocket. Normal things. Beautiful things. The things Lila fought for. The chance for all of them to live fully, safely, loved. Inside the house, on Jesse's nightstand, the compass glows softly in the moonlight. The number 41007 is just visible on its face, a reminder of where they've been and how far they've come. A reminder that sometimes the people we lose leave us gifts we don't recognize until much later. Lila's gift was truth, and truth, as it turns out, is the foundation everything else is built on. Truth and love, and the courage to keep going even when the sky tears open and everything falls apart. Cole and Rhys sit on that porch until the moon rises high and the air turns cold. When they finally go inside, Cole pauses at Jesse's door, watches his son sleep with Lila's compass held tight. "Thank you," he whispers, not sure if he's talking to Lila or to Rhys or to the universe itself. Maybe all 3. Rhys slips her hand into his. "Come to bed," she says softly. And he does. In the morning, the sun will rise on a family that grief built and love restored. But tonight they rest, all of them, even the ghosts,